Tonight on Inside Louisiana Athletics, head soccer coach Lance Key is here to discuss matches with in-state foes Nichols and Northwestern State. We're joined by volleyball head coach Heather Mazetas-Fontenot to revisit the Oklahoma Invitational. Head coach Billy Napier opens up on the Ragin Cajuns fight with SWAC opponent Texas Southern, brought to you by Sonic. But first, Dan McDonald and Eric Mouton recap the Ragin Cajuns and the Tigers. You're watching Inside Louisiana Athletics.
Thanks, Darren. Dan McDonald along with Eric Mouton here at Cajun Field. We knew, Eric, going in that Louisiana would be very impressive offensively against really an outmanned Texas Southern team, but I don't think we were ready for what happened offensively from this Cajun team.
And we highlighted it before the game, the offensive line getting it done and allowing these running backs for some big plays and a lot of touchdowns scored tonight thanks to that offensive line.
11 straight possessions Louisiana scored on. They run up 748 yards offensively, and they did it every way possible. 440 yards rushing, 308 yards passing. They had no turnovers. The only time they did not score on an offensive possession was the final possession of the game when the game ended at the Texas Southern 10-yard line.
And we talked a little bit about it before the game. Big games coming up for this Louisiana team. Were they going to overlook this Texas Southern team? And they absolutely did not. A great job by the coaching staff to have them ready to play tonight to get another home victory.
The guy who carried the ball the most in the game, how about T.J. Wisham, who had 10 carries late, had 103 yards coming off the bench. Cajuns had 7 different running backs that all carried the ball and all carried with authority. Look there going up the middle. A big run by T.J. Wisham as he gets it down close to scoring territory. And they just scored in so many ways, it was almost hard to keep up with. As Magalay, the backup quarterback, with his touchdown pass, he had a touchdown throw in the game. Levi Lewis had 2. And then closing it out, Michael Orphy gets the final touchdown for this Louisiana team as they take a 77-6 win over really an outmanned Texas Southern team on the second straight home win for the Cajuns here at Cajun Field.
Next on Inside Louisiana Athletics, reaction to Saturday night's win from the head coach Billy Napier, brought to you by Sonic.
If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, then your feet will surely show it. If you're happy and you know it's Zydeco. If you're happy and you know it, mange. If you're happy and you know it, mange. If you're happy and you know it, I think I will help you show it. If you're happy and you know it, mange.
So this will be a 50-yard attempt. Kick is on its way, and the kick is good. Cajuns win! 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 A 50-yard field goal! Its time expires! Holy cow, can you believe it?
Sonic's got all my fair faves.
Cheddar peppers, 99-cent corn dogs, Oreo a la mode. I love the fair. All the prizes you can win.
Totally. Did you win all those?
Winning's for suckers. I bought these.
Hurry in. Fair faves start at 99 cents and order ahead for happy hour anytime.
Giant killers. That's what we are.
Today.
Remember that. Giant killers.
Triumph! Ready, stretch! Giant kill!
Heard that? Giant killers.
Welcome to Inside Louisiana Athletics. As Dan and Eric just covered, it was a historic night at Cajun Field this past Saturday. The Ragin Cajuns get a 77-6 win over Texas Southern. Darren Walker joined by the head coach, as always, Billy Napier. And Coach, as coaches, you guys can always find little things that you need to improve on, but there was a lot to like about Saturday night.
Yeah, I thought our staff did a tremendous job. We had the players in the right frame of mind. We started fast. Certainly, that has a lot to do with the leadership that we have amongst the players. I thought our veteran players did a really good job. We wanted to start fast, leave no doubt, and I think we did that.
Now, since your arrival, you've talked about the formula, and one of the ingredients for that formula is overwhelm. And there was no better example of that than the first quarter, really the first drive and the first play. Trey Regis takes the carry, and it was like a rugby scrum out there. Offensive linemen are just pushing him down the field for 25 yards, and I think it really set the tone for the whole game. Yeah,
that's an area where we wanted to make improvement. We talked to our offensive line about cleaning up the pile, being in position, push the pile, get the runner up off the ground after the play. Certainly not a very well executed running play, believe it or not. We had a mental error, but Trey broke a tackle. It did get to the second level. Those guys did a tremendous job of being around the ball. We actually had all 11 players in the scrum when the play was over. And then 4 plays later, Elijah Mitchell plows in from 3 yards out, and it's 7-0, and you were just rolling at that point. Yeah, I think it took a minute and 42 or something like that. We played with tempo, trying to take advantage of their lack of depth and our depth. Certainly all things tempo there. I think at every position group we did a nice job. The first quarter continues with 3 more scores. Raymond Calais with 2. Trey Regis gets 1. And you mentioned time of possession a little while ago. 142 on the first touchdown drive, 235 on the second, 54 seconds on the third, and 155 on the fourth. So you're running the ball for the most part, but you're steamrolling through the Tiger defense. Yeah, our defense got us the ball back quickly a couple of times there. We really were playing well together as a team, did a great job on our cover units, did a really good job in the punt return game. Ran the ball really effectively. I thought our guys up front really set the tempo. The running backs were decisive, one-cut, physical runners. And again, the receivers had another great week blocking on the perimeter. You mentioned running backs. Second quarter, now the score's 28-3, and Trey Regis shows us another aspect of how he's improved. He really good footwork going down that sideline and scoring the touchdown. Yeah, I think Trey has taken another step, much more discipline in his approach, his eye discipline, his consistency with his footwork. He also caught the ball for a touchdown. A great little play action concept. Levi did a nice job there getting him the ball on the perimeter, hurdled the defender, and actually ran it in for a touchdown. Elijah Mitchell adds another score. Now it's 42-3. And then probably the highlight of the night, Peter LeBlanc, true freshman, takes 153 yards to the house. And the Ragin Cajun sideline just erupted. And I heard Coach Tim Leger, his position coach, wide receiver, he said after the game he's never seen a sideline get that excited about a guy scoring a touchdown. Well, I think that just shows you, the chemistry that we have. I complimented our team the other night. I think our veteran players have done a great job of kind of welcoming the rookies, but also showing them the way. I think we built great relationships, great trust. Peter's a rookie receiver who has really come on the last couple of weeks, earned the respect of his teammates over the summer. I love it. I think it was probably one of the things that pleased me most about Saturday night was to see our entire team celebrate when some of these guys made plays. Yeah, you're getting some other guys into the game already, and it's still the first half. Chris Smith, he showed a real burst hitting that hole, and he finishes the first half to make it a 56-6 game at halftime. You can see that Chris is a guy who's kind of working while he's waiting. Mm-hmm. His time is coming. Mm-hmm. We've found some different ways to get him involved, but he's a really good special teams player for us right now. And there'll be a day where he'll be one of these featured running backs in our system. Now, all we've talked about so far is offense. So meanwhile, the defense was only giving up 179 yards in the first half.
the closest the Tigers ever got to the end zone was our 22-yard line.
Yeah, we met every goal on defense. You know, we stopped the run, made them one-dimensional. Certainly had a really good day on third down. Only gave up 2 field goals, which is awesome when you start talking about the skill players that they did have. You know, a couple of exceptional receivers, and the quarterback, their starter's a very talented player.
Second half, more of the same, more young guys getting involved. Cassius Allen scores on a 3-yard pass from Abe.
Yeah, lots of young players out there playing. Challenge those guys to kind of play to the standard in the second half. Challenge the players that were out of the game to be engaged, to celebrate with their teammates. I love it when I get to see these scout team players and job taker players get an opportunity to play in front of their families, in front of the fans. Well deserved. There's lots of weeks where they don't get to do that. I think it was exciting for me to get a chance to see a lot of those guys contribute and play.
And you finish up the scoring with 2 more touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Michael Orphy Jr., Ashton Johnson each get into the end zone. Again, you talked in the locker room about, you just mentioned it a second ago, about these young guys who are not the quote-unquote stars, but getting out there and having their moment to shine. Yeah,
6 running backs scored, certainly a couple receivers as well. All 4 quarterbacks. Only quarterback that didn't play was Braden. But I think we played 17 offensive linemen, something like that. So a great day for our team, great day to build morale. Certainly a lot of guys got an opportunity to play that don't usually, and it was well-deserved. And a product of our team doing what we challenged them to do, and that was to start fast and leave no doubt.
A great test this weekend. You're going to Ohio to face the Bobcats. This is a program that's had a lot of success lately. They've been to 3 straight bowl games and won the last 2. So what do you see in this one?
Well, well-coached team. A lot of stability, a lot of consistency. They've got a blueprint that works well for them. Got a veteran quarterback coming back that's not only an efficient, smart passer, but also a very athletic runner. A veteran crew on defense. And they've got a veteran offensive line group coming back as well. So, this is one of the best coaches in the history of the game. He's the AFCA president represents the coaches in college football. We've got tremendous respect for their program, how hard their players play, the fundamentals that they play with. Certainly going to be a great challenge, and we look forward to competing against them.
Yeah, Coach Solich has been there for 15 years. His defensive coordinator has been there for 9, although this is his first year calling the defense. Offensive coordinator has been there the whole time. So how do you think that stability, that continuity helps with that? Yeah,
you can see that their players are well coached. They have a great understanding of where they fit within their concept that they're running. And they're really good at home. I think they were undefeated at home last year. So this is going to be a great test, and I know it's going to take a great week of preparation. Mm-hmm. We had a good practice Sunday night, and certainly excited to get back on the field on Tuesday.
So this game may take on a different look, have a different feel to it, because you've referenced this one as a buckle your chin strap type of game.
No question. This is the type of team that you got a lot of respect for because they're physical. They run the ball. They stop the run. Certainly play with great speed and toughness on special teams. We're going to have to be at our best. All the intangibles that we've built throughout the offseason are going to have to be at their best and on full display Saturday, 1 o'clock Central kick, and we're excited about the opportunity.
All right, thanks for the time. As usual, all the highlights and reaction coming your way again next week on Inside Louisiana Athletics. Coming up next on Inside Louisiana Athletics, head volleyball coach Heather Mercedes-Fontenot talks about the Oklahoma Invitational.
Sonic's got all my faves.
Cheddar peppers, 99-cent corn dogs, Oreo a la mode. But there's no chicken on the Fair Faves menu, right?
No. Why do you ask?
No reason. You're safe.
Hurry in. Fair Faves start at 99 cents and order ahead for happy hour anytime.
So this will be a 50-yard attempt. Kick is on its way, and the kick is good. Cajuns win! 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 A 50-yard field goal! Time expires! Holy cow! Can you believe it?
We are a young conference, full of energy, passion, and pride. And we won't rest until we've made our mark. Our accomplishments have earned us a place among the top of the college football world. But we're just getting started. We've still got a lot of growing to do. And the future is for the young. Sunbelt is proud to be a part of 150 years of college football.
Car Hop Classic for just $2.99 is the perfect 1-2 punch of flavor and value. You need a trainer to help you eat the burger?
Hey, stay out of this. Don't get in my head, man. There's barely room for me in there.
Hurry in and try quarter-pound double cheeseburger or 6-inch Philly plus tots for $2.99.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Athletics. Darren Walker joined by the head volleyball coach, Heather Mercedes-Fontenot. Let's talk about the Oklahoma Invitational. Rough week, but competitive week. Give me your summary of the weekend.
Well, I tell you, we went into that tournament knowing that we were going to have our hands full, for sure. And we had Arizona State, Oklahoma, and Georgia Tech, 3 high-quality programs, all Power 5. And, we held our own. I was just telling somebody that if we played to 15, we would have gone 3-0 this weekend, because we're hanging on till about point 18. And then at 18 points, we play to 25, things start to get a little loose for us. And so, again, we go back to the drawing board this week and just try to shore up those last 7 points. But yeah, we were competitive. There were games that, small little things, I was just telling somebody we were tied 22-22 with Georgia Tech in the third set, and we hit a ball out of bounds by what I call a French fry, out by a French fry. We, miscommunicate on a free ball, and then we trying to get out of the way of a serve that's going out of bounds, it brushes our chest, and so that's how we lose. And so if we can get rid of those little things, man, we're going to be super competitive.
And so I guess the next question, obvious question, is how do you do that? How do you prepare for those crazy instances?
Well, I think really it goes back to practice. You win or lose matches during practice time. And I think it showed our team that, man, we have a lot to offer this season, just like I had told them they would, but for them to see it. I mean, we're at 14-6 on OU at OU, and we just can't hold it together. Right. And so we have all the ability, and I think that's what showed them. So to prepare during practice, for them to be a little bit more disciplined and realize that when we make those kind of errors in practice, that they're important, and that we just those are the silly things that we have to cut out.
Right, learn from your mistakes, essentially. So yeah, you did go toe-to-toe with the Sun Devils. Lead changes in the first set, but again, they go on that little run to win the first set, and in the third set, like you mentioned, 19-18, but they pulled away in the end.
Yeah, it's 19-18, and then we lose, I think, 25-19. It's like they keep scoring and we stop scoring. And so, it's just getting us to a scenario where we have to press in those last 6-7 points. Because, it's a good sign, and it's understanding that we've got to work all the way through point 25, and that, but to also know that you can not only hang with those teams but beat them. It's a totally different mindset, and I think our girls saw that. And because mathematically, if we get rid of this error, man, we win a set. Well, if you win one set, you can win another set. So good and crazy all at the same time.
And later that day, it's the theme here, but a similar situation. Georgia Tech, 23-22, like you mentioned earlier, couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. So, but what I'm taking out of this weekend is that we are a talented ball club for sure. And I think that conference championship that we are eyeing, we just have to keep working and staying super positive with our gang, because, they're working very, very hard. And now it's about them holding each other accountable during practice.
You finished up on Saturday against Oklahoma. Same thing, all 3 sets, very close.
Same thing.
Midway point in those sets, but the Sooners pull away late. Let's go ahead and move on now to what's coming up for you. You're headed to University of Florida to play in the Gator Invitational. Again, another good test for you before you get into conference play.
Right, and I believe I said this last week, is that, scheduling these two tournaments was not an accident. It's, if we want to see the best teams, then we have to go find them. And, again, we have the UTA and Texas State our very first weekend of conference play, two great teams. And so let's make sure that we're seeing teams that are their caliber or better, so that when we do play them, we've already seen it. And so this weekend going to Florida, we play Liberty, Northern Arizona, and Florida. Again, another great test for us on the road to play quality teams and hopefully find some wins.
Well, if the trend continues, you should win all three of these this weekend, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, I know the exact trend.
Drop 3, win 3, drop 3, win 3.
Yeah, and if we win 3 this weekend, holy Moses, with Florida at number 7 right now, that'd be great.
Well, we'll have all of the reaction to that tournament next week on Inside Louisiana Athletics. Thanks for the time. Coming up next on the show, we talk to Lance Key about the week in Ragin Cajun soccer.
To perform, you need speed, skill, strength. With every muscle, every move, you push your body to reach its full potential. But sometimes you just can't push through the pain. That's when you know it's time to address it. So when injury puts you on the sidelines, trust us to get you back in the game. Lourdes Sports Care, the team behind your team.
Carhop Classic for just $2.99 is the perfect 1-2 punch of flavor and value.
Time, that!
You need a trainer to help you eat the burger?
Hey, stay out of this. Don't get in my head, man. There's barely room for me in there.
Hurry in and try quarter-pound double cheeseburger or 6-inch Philly plus tots for $2.99.
Welcome back to Inside Louisiana Athletics. Time now to visit the pitch with head coach Lance Key. Let's talk about the Nicholls State game last week. You win that one 2-0. You get 2 goals in a matter of 8 minutes, which is, I guess in soccer, that's kind of hard to overcome. First Skylar Sykes and then Gwen Mummert on a penalty shot.
Yeah, Skylar's been playing really well for us. She's come in after a couple of injuries early in the season and really sort of found her rhythm, and she's been integral in our rhythm. Being able to play into her feet and her being able to keep the ball and connect back underneath and still get it again. The goal that she scored was really a great bit of build-up play. Kobe McNutt to, I believe it was Carlene Beedry, who played a vertical ball into a great run and just really weighted a pass very well and a great finish. And then Gwen stepped up on a penalty. Again, we created an opportunity to get down to the end line, got service in, and the player extended her arm. And so we created an opportunity to put them under pressure and ultimately got a penalty out of it. And Gwen stepped up and put it home. She's very good, very confident in that situation. And really it was a good result in terms of keeping another clean sheet and getting on the board and scoring a couple of goals. I felt like it took us a long time to get going in that match. Credit to them. They did a good job of organizing, getting in behind the ball and making it difficult to penetrate the final 18 yards. But at the end of the day, a result is a result.
Playing great defense, too, that night. They did not get a shot on goal. Any concerns about Mackenzie getting a little bored back there?
No, we keep Mackenzie pretty active in training and making sure she's getting plenty of repetition. At the end of the day, as a goalkeeper, I mean, you're trying to keep clean sheets, and the best way to keep clean sheets is to limit opportunities. And we did a good job of limiting opportunities. Like I said, they really committed to defend against us and tried to find us on the counter. And that's one of the things I think we've been a little susceptible to this point in the season is that counterattack. And we cleaned it up nicely that night and didn't really give any chances at all.
First 4-game win streak since 2013, and you took that win streak on the road to Natchitoches on Sunday against Northwestern State, and then you jump out to the 1-0 lead with a Rainey Niles goal.
Yeah, they did a good job as well. And again, credit to Northwestern and to Anna and Jess Job, who are the co-head coaches there, good friends of mine. Mm-hmm. They did a really good job of being prepared for us. They knew what we were going to be. They let us have a lot of the ball, and they tried to kind of pounce on those opportunities in transition. The game, I felt like for the most part was very much under our control outside the first 5 minutes, where they really put it on us and put high pressure. Mackenzie made a great save early on to keep it 0-0. And then we sort of found our rhythm and started to play through it and created some chances. Telly got a ball in from the left-hand side, and Randy made a good near-post run and was able to one-time it in the back of the net. And I felt like we maintained our rhythm through the first half. Start of the second half was kind of a different story. We didn't continue to push as we had, and I felt like we got a little bit complacent, a little bit comfortable, which is a little bit of immaturity from our team, really.
The Demons did answer 23 minutes later to tie the game, and that's how the game ended in regulation. You go to double overtime, and you're in the waning seconds of this thing and give up the goal. Obviously, a bitter pill to swallow. Very difficult, and especially the first 10-minute overtime period, we had 3 attempts from within 8 to 10 yards. Really good looks at goal from players who are going to finish those 8 out of 10 times. And that's just the way the game goes. I mean, you can outshoot a team 30-2 and lose 2-0. I mean, that's sometimes the unfortunate side of soccer, but it's the reality side of soccer. And we were disappointed. We would have been disappointed, I think, to get out of there with a draw, quite honestly. We felt like we probably should not have put ourselves in position to then concede that first goal, the equalizer. But it would not have been as disappointing as getting out of there on the wrong end of a 2-1 result. So the conference schedule is here now. So discuss how far this team has come since, game 1 as to this past weekend and going into that conference schedule. Games 1 and 2 for us were just trials, essentially. We're trying to figure out what we can do and what we can't do and who we can do it with and which players play well alongside each other. And at the same point, trying to implement a system and an identity of how we play and test it against 2 fairly athletic teams. And they made us pay for it. And as a staff, we looked at that and said, we got nothing to lose these first 2 matches. Let's go out there. Let's try to play and see what we can do. From then, I think we've made a lot of progress and have positioned ourselves well to go into conference play. We've got a really tough team coming in South Al who just got a result. They beat Ole Miss 2-1 yesterday. So we know that they're going to be an improved side from last year. We feel like we're a far improved side from last year. I think the frustrating piece is yesterday's result in the context of all of it, having been up a goal on the road against a team who had to play Friday night when we didn't, and to allow them back in and then allow them ultimately to get the winner. So I think we feel like we took a little bit of a step back yesterday in terms of our execution and our game management. And those are things that are going to be important for us to be able to make a run in conference play. All right, thanks for the time, Coach. As always, that Sunbelt Conference opener is this Sunday at 1 o'clock at the Track Soccer Complex. Coming up next on Inside Louisiana Athletics, a closer look at the upcoming schedule.
So this will be a 50-yard attempt. Kick is on its way, and the kick